I really wish there was, and this is what I'm actually trying to create, but this is part of the reason why I'm creating it, launching the app that I want to launch. Because I really wish there was a way for me to support the people that I actually want to support. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of online sessions, online shows, online performances that artists are doing, or just knowing the schedule of lives in general. Like, there isn't a TV guide style of so and so is going live. Like, especially since so many people are planning to go live and they're doing these announcements. But one, that means I have to set a calendar or a reminder on my own. And honestly, I'll see things and be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. But it's social media. Like, I see it and then I get distracted. Excuse me. That was a little rude. I see it and I get distracted and I forget. And then I could incidentally see it later on and I realize either that I missed it or like, oh shoot, I did want to do that. Let me set a reminder. I don't like that. That bothers my soul. So I want to schedule of the people that I follow that's important to me of when they go live. And then when they do other tours or go on tour, just, oh, I'm going to go live with so and so. It's this day. That's technically this day and age tour. And down the line, I want to do it for tours. Like, if I'm going on tour to do this show, I just want to be able to know when this person is going on tour or where they're going on tour at and all that other type of stuff, but in a sort of TV guide style. I'm just looking for the next few days, or I'm just looking when I plan my trip, or, like, to sort of have something that puts all of these tours and all of these lives together so that I could see it. Just for the people that I follow. I don't need all that other bull crap. I don't need it. So I am trying my best to put it together because it honestly stresses me sometimes. Because I am trying to keep everything straight. And I'm just like, if you could just help me a little bit. And everyone's like, turn on notifications and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, but if you go on live anytime between now and the time that you said that you're going on live for a performance, I personally just get annoyed and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to see it no more. Like, because every single time it says you go live, it doesn't say you're going live for that event. I only care about that event. I don't need to see all your lives in the meantime. I mean, when I get on social media, I see the little lives at the top anyway. So if you're not up there, then I won't click on you. That's just personally how I feel. But in general, I do think we need a way to see all of these lives. Like, if you have a planned date of when you're going live, I should be able to know about it within those next couple of days without having to go to your page. Because I'm trying to catch your moment. I'm trying to support you. And then on top of that, like, if it's for donations or charitable reasons, I definitely don't want to miss out on that. If it's just simply to support and I have the capacity to support, because I can't help everybody. I'm not there yet in life. I will get there, but that's not today. So I want to be a part of that change because for me, it's so much bigger than that down the line. It just has so much more potential because there's so many people that have so much more potential. For real. My little mask in the back. This is one of my I don't know, tension moments. or I get distracted. So that's me out here in these streets. Do 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 do. And if you see me outside, I'll be in sunglasses. And I have a house mask. I don't know why I have a house mask, but at the time, it was like a just in case sort of thing. And it literally has just turned into my house mask. So it's sort of good because when the technician came out, I was gonna wear it, but because I don't wear it that often, I couldn't remember where I put it. It's the reason why it's back here on my deep freezer now. So, main thing that I wanted to say was I want there to be a way that I can see lives on a daily basis, just a list of lives from the people that I follow. And then I want it so that I could see it out in the future. Like if I know that, I don't know, who's a good person right now that we all are concerned about? And not necessarily concerned about, but that's trending. I just can't think of anyone that's trending at the moment. So, I thought about somebody, but I don't want to talk about them. I feel like that might throw some shade, but that's not my intent. So, mind my business. But Tabitha Brown. And now that I think about it, I really hope that's her last name. Yeah, I'm good with faces, awful with names. And it's not an excuse, it's just, it's not a priority for me to memorize people's names right now. So that's why I'm just awful at them. I can change. I know that I can change, and those of you who feel like, oh, that's just how I am, you can change. If you stop telling yourself that story and believe in another story, as in, I want to be able to remember people's faces and names, you'll work harder to do such a thing. That's literally how this works. You won't be the greatest at it, you won't be the best at it, you'll just be better at it. That was the whole point. I want to be better at, names with faces. Now, I want to be perfect at having names with faces. Who does that to themselves? Please don't. If you do, please don't. I digress. Whew. Internet is out, which means I'll probably be making more videos than what I normally would. Then again, last time, I literally just used hotspot the entire time because I'm blessed enough to be able to do that now. There was a point in time where I wasn't, so fortunate for me. And hopefully that didn't come off as bragging. I'm super happy that that's something that I can do now. Like, I've gotten to that point in my adulting life as an adult, being a proper adult, the way that people want to teach me how to be an adult, that I'm still figuring out. And, trying to figure out which voices I want to listen to and which ones I don't. One of them is having the ability to have hotspot to afford it. Because there's some people who have it and can't afford it. So I'm blessed and I'm thankful and I'm grateful that I can afford it, and it makes me happy. Like any other time I'd be super upset because I wouldn't have any other options, and I've created a life for myself to where I have options now, and it's worth it to me. And I'm just gonna get better at time and better in time at time. What? So yeah, I'm going to get better in time, and I'm glad that I can do it now. So here's to down the line of more things that I'm able to do and capable to do because I strategized and I planned and I executed my plan properly. Not perfectly, properly, effectively. That's what we're seeking. Take advantage of our plan to end with the best results of our plan. Best results for me, best results for everybody, you know, so that I don't have to give my cable company a bad review. Just best results for everybody. Let's see. Yeah, I think that covers it. I will be going up to multiple posts a day. A lot of posts a day. And that I'm gonna increase the amount of platforms that I use. I have multiple platforms that I have an account in, but actively using is debatable. That's very questionable. So I am gonna work on some things that I need to have work done by the end of today. I mean, I guess it's not mandatory, but it's something that I would like to get done. And I say that because we all should remind ourselves that I have to get this done by the end of the day. Do you really, or did you give yourself that deadline? Like, what are the repercussions of you not getting it done today? Is it fatal? Is it harmful? Is it dangerous? You know, is it wasteful of other people's time if you don't get it done? Is it an expectation? You know, who is it for? Is it for myself? Is it for somebody else? Sort of figure out when you sort of put these deadlines on yourself. I gotta be back to the gym or anything like that. Try not to be the enforcer. You know, just say that this is basically your policy in place. And now, if you don't fall to it, you get another try. You know, it's not one of those things. Like, it's basically you get a ticket. You find yourself and you're like, I didn't meet this expectation. Let me figure out why so I can do better next time. And, you know, it just gives you that accountability. And there's no harmful thoughts that come from it. Because that's what I don't want. It's for you to set yourself up for a goal or a deadline and you don't meet it, and it makes you not ever want to meet it, or not to set another goal, or not to set that goal to another time frame. That's the last thing I want. You know, and I struggle with it. It's not something that is very easy to do. It's easier said than done. So I'll get there. But in the meantime, right now, for these decisions that I have today, I got it. And I'm glad for that. I applaud myself for that. So, anyhow, as I run my mouth, I don't know why I do that, knowing that I've been done with what I had to say for the last couple minutes, but I'm human. So I really want to show people what that looks like and give one person a piece of hope, and knowing that, oh, okay, I'm weird like that, or I have quirks like that, like that, similar to that, because nobody's gonna be exactly like me, and I don't want you to be. But I do really want everyone, to my main point, everyone to have access to all these lives and to know when they occur and to be able to get notifications of the ones that are important to you. So when people are planning, I have this live that I'm going to do on next Thursday, that if you turn on their notifications and they decide to do a live tomorrow, that you don't get notified because that was just a random notification. If you do want to get notified, then, by all means, follow them and turn on notifications. But if not, and you're really just looking for that one thing that they're going to talk about next Thursday, then you'll be able to follow it on my app, and then you'll get notified of when it's getting ready to start. And it also helps you to see when a person is planning to go live. That's what the purpose of the main app is the main purpose of the app. Crazy things I say sometimes. Is to allow people to see the upcoming lives so that they can make plans to see it. Same way you would do a tour. You want to see upcoming tours so that you can plan to see it in whichever area you are or whichever area you're going to be. If I plan to go on vacation, and I do actually, I plan to go on vacation in October, and I wanted to know all of the lives that we're going to go on, or virtual tours, or if things open up. Slim chance right now. But if things open up, then I want to know who's performing in that area. And anything like magicians, dancers, singers, comedians, motivational speakers. This is my time to be off, and I should take advantage of it and not have to feel like I just have to do the tourist activities when I go on vacation. That's how I feel. So that's what I am building. I am launching, and I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, but I will get there, and I look forward to it. And in the meantime, I have to keep working on it and chipping away at it bit by bit. This is the progress that nobody sees, that a lot of people make it, and all the people behind them seem like it was an overnight success. No. No overnight over here. That's just the way it works. It seems like it's overnight, but it really isn't. It takes shorter time for some and longer time for others, and that's okay. That's what's meant to be. I'm finding that out, and it's a really enjoyable thing because I still work. And things that I've learned along the way is like how to negotiate my salary, how to determine when it's time for me to move on to another place. I'm getting ready to start applying for another position in another department. So that's new to me. I've never done that. Getting ready for the interview process of that is new too, because it's different. Like, I'm an in-house employee is going to be different from an external employee. We already know that you are good enough to work with the company, and at this point in time, I just need to know if it's like a lateral move or a promotion. And let's see, what else? The skill set too, to make sure my skill set is, I don't want to say in line, because the position I'm going for is similar to the position that I already have. It's just that role uses different software and answers to different people. So, just trying to make sure that the things that I do now won't make a negative impact on the things that I do later. Once I get the role. We're going to say once, because a lot of people have a habit of saying if, and we're just going to say once. We're just going to say that it's going to happen, but we're going to be completely conscious of the fact that it might not. And because of that, I've already come to terms with it. And if you haven't come to terms with things, this would be the moment where you learn how to cope. And you plan how to cope. If this doesn't go my way, what does that mean to me? And how can I get the things that I want still? Is that a year later, do I reapply? Is that I look outside of the company? What would that look for me? I've already made these decisions myself. I'm just suggesting to you, if you're in that position, or to remember this video for when you do go back to having to decide if you want to change roles within the company you work for. So these are all teaching points for me, and I enjoy it because now I'll be able to know what my employees will go through when they work for me, and I want to be as sympathetic to that as possible and understanding to that. I was talking to a friend earlier about how I don't really know if I want an interview process for people to get new roles. Like, how much of an interview do I really need for somebody who already works for the company? There are certain roles that can be trained within 3 months, and I just need to make sure that your mind space for changing roles is in a healthy space. And if it's in a healthy space, then go for it. If you feel like you need a change of gears and you need to learn something new, the most that's gonna happen is the months that it takes for you to train and then realize that you don't like it, or we realize that it's not a good fit, is that your previous position will be filled. Because it might be easier to fill that position than it is to fill the position you applied for. To which case, I have to figure that out, I have to see if there's another person who's trying to get into that role within that company. If they are, then maybe you can take over their role, depending on what it is. So, I don't know. I think about the process of all of this a little bit differently, and I haven't gone through it yet to sort of figure out how I want to do things differently. In general, I'm just figuring it out and sort of brainstorming right now. But, I do like all the things that I'm going through, believe it or not. It is a very enjoyable adventure. It has its ups and downs, but it's a very enjoyable adventure for me because now I'm to the point where anything that goes on in the workplace is a lesson learned for me as a boss. I take everything that happens to me or happens to my coworkers as a lesson for the future boss in me. It's not like, oh, I got to deal with this bull crap. In the moment, sure, I do have moments. I am human. Like I said, I have ups and downs. But overall, the lesson that I get at the end of the day is I want to do things differently. And I want to keep myself aware of these hurdles and these triumphs that I'm going through, that other people in the workforce are going to go through, and how do I make this easier? Because they've been the same since the beginning of time. Like, since jobs were started, people have had issues with certain parts of their jobs, and I want people's voices to be heard, and I want there to be compromise and not dictatorship. Like, I don't want to get to a point where I'm telling people, you absolutely have to do this. This is non-negotiable. I'm sure it will happen. I've been informed that it will, but I want to make that as least as possible, because for me, sometimes I just feel like managers make decisions just because they're managers. I've also come to the understanding that I would manage way differently. I had a couple management positions, and I didn't like that I didn't get properly trained. And it reflected in moments, and I hated it. It reflected in moments of chaos because I couldn't compose myself, because I couldn't figure out what that looked like. And then it would be like weeks down the line where I'm just like, oh, okay, I could have handled this way or that way. But at that point in time, like, the damage is done. Whatever it is that I had done, and I don't really know all the things that I did that was offensive or wrong, because in the heat of the moment, I was just trying to stay afloat as well. So I do apologize if I had managed you in a poor way. That was not my intention. It's just I couldn't figure out what to do that worked best for everyone. I couldn't figure out a compromise. I just knew my ass was on the line and I needed to get this, that, and the other done, because, you know, customers were going to be upset, and customers are always right. But really, there is balance. And whatever I was going through, it's not like it was new. Like, it's not like the company had never went through it. It was a reoccurring thing even when I worked in a lot of these management positions, and it just was like, so why don't y'all have a solution? And if you do have a solution, why don't you keep a reminder or a connection or a pathway, passageway, whatever you want to call it, a direct link to let me know this is where you go to look when you're in these types of situations. You know, these are some first steps, quick steps, initial steps, and people will be able to update it and put in their own feedback from it, you know, after time. And it will be encouraged to do such a thing, to let people know, you know, I tried it this way, but this is how this planned out. And one, to get people to reach out, especially management, to say, hey, I'm sorry that didn't go well for you. Here are my suggestions. Are there anything that you feel like we could have done better to help you prepare for that situation? You know, we're constantly learning. And I feel like so many companies do this in a nutshell. Another thing that's been bothering me, these cable companies. You got to sign in to see this and sign in and do that. I get why you would want to do that. You know, I get why you want to have someone sign in, because if they're troubleshooting something, you want to be able to see how many people click on that link and all that other type of stuff. Like, you just want to be able to capture that data. But as a customer, like, if I am signing in just to troubleshoot something, I'm annoyed. Like, I'm gonna just call you. And it's something that could be answered online, but you want me to sign in. I don't. Like, and even that, like, I call once I'm frustrated. Luckily, I've learned not to be one of those frustrated customers that's, I don't understand, and yelling and da-da-da. If that's you, please fix it. You yelling at people is not going to get you any closer to resolving the issue. It's not. I promise you it's not. If you are on the receiving end of that, Understand that the other person is just as human as you do, and they have angry moments just like you do, and just like you shouldn't yell and cuss and fuss at people regardless of who they are, regardless of if it's family, because I know that's another one that people be so triggered by, like, my family know how I am, blah. Okay, all right, that don't mean you don't need to change. Nobody needs to yell, nobody needs to threaten. Nobody needs to be put down or called names. And I'm not saying that you need to be perfect. I'm just saying be aware of it, because you don't have to react that way. You don't have to let your anger get the best of you. You don't. It's not a necessity. And I know you're like, but people are stupid. Yelling at them isn't gonna make them all of a sudden unstupid, undumb. Like that statement, unstupid and undumb. Basically smart and intelligent. But you got what I was saying. It might be one of your pet peeves. I don't like when people talk about that. Okay. I can say undumb and unstupid. There isn't a law against it. It's your personal preference. And I know that it doesn't make me look intelligent, but I'm intelligent. Your opinion about a 30-minute video, or however long it ends up being, like, you're one opinion for me. And you're not the person I'm meant to impact. You're not the person I'm meant to reach. You're not the person I'm meant to be speaking to. You are more than welcome to go find someone who speaks your language, who talks to you in the way you like to be talked to. You don't have to put me down for that. You can just go on about your business. And yet you choose to be here and say something and get it off your chest. Your choice. I feel like it's wrong, but you feel like it's okay. I want you to understand that amongst other people. You feel like what they're doing is wrong. They feel like what they're doing is okay. You yell at them for that, they're not going to get the message. They're just automatically going to get offensive. I don't know a single soul who goes, oh yeah, let me enjoy this. Like, especially from strangers is mostly what I'm talking about. If it's a loved one, then it's one of those things where you can sort it out and get to a healthy point. If both of you want that, if only one of you want it, it's not going to come. So you either have to be patient or you have to say deuces. I know I covered a lot of points in everything I just said, but it bothers me when I see people just going off the rails at customer service. And a part of it feels like it's because you've never been in their shoes. And I have come from customer service, so I feel like I need to speak up on that end. But in general, management for me is inadequate. In the moments that I was a manager and was inadequate, it was because I didn't have any training and there wasn't any training available. And I knew that I needed to be trained, but I knew there was nothing I could do because they didn't offer any management training. So, yeah. The more I talk about this, the more I realize that I really do want to train managers. Like, I really want to be a communication interpreter. Like, that's what I want my role to be. I don't want to be an expert in communications. I just want to be a communication interpreter. I want to come into your business and tell you, okay, these are the things that are going on within your company. And these are the things that you perceive are going on within your company. And this is how I feel like it will help. And to help you go through that, and changing it and changing your behavior and changing your coworkers or subordinates' behavior. So maybe that's what I'll do a little later on down in life, because there's so many companies. Some of y'all I'm just baffled at how badly y'all fail. Like, almost mortified sometimes. How has this company lasted this long and they treat people this way? And this is the standard for management. Whew. Y'all just stress some people out. Truly. And you've made your job harder in the meantime. So, I don't know. I'm sort of going into this direction of wanting to focus on managers and what management could do differently and do better. I do still like to talk about my blackness, being black, what it's like being black, things I would like to see change. I do still like to talk about the human race, about how great it can be. I just have this dream, and for me it doesn't matter if I see it while I'm still alive or in the afterlife, or if it's even possible to see it in the afterlife. I want to create that change, and I'm trying to be that change the best of my ability, as many small steps as I can take to make one giant step. That saying. Let's see. I like to talk about random personal goals. I don't really think I'll ever show anyone like my meal prepping things and going to the gym and hair maintenance. Like, these are all things that I do and everyone does to some extent. But they're just not my main focus. They're not my passion. They're just things I routinely do. So if I ever get to a point where people ask me, I'll make one video about it and probably never make another video about it. And I know it's never say never, but I'm just not into those things. I'm really into teaching people to believe in themselves and to be positive and to know that your voice is the loudest voice that you're ever going to hear. So teach it to be nice to you. Teach it to ignore other people's feelings. Teach it to not accept other people's projections onto you. Teach it to determine what society says is relevant in your life and what's irrelevant in your life. Just teach it to be kind to you, because you deserve it. And I love you, and I want you to love you if you don't. And I want you to believe in you if you don't, because I believe in you more than you'll believe in you. And I do want to remind everybody that just means that I believe that the world can be a better place, and the only way that we can do it is to believe in ourselves. And so I have to believe in everyone, because I'm a part of ourselves. Like, I have to believe in me, I have to believe in you, I have to believe in everyone. That's the way that this works. And you don't have to believe in everyone, that's okay. But for me, you have to believe in you. You have to. You were put on this earth for a reason. You have a purpose, you have a passion, you have a destiny, and it all happens through believing in you. And I want to do that. And I also love everyone. Like, I genuinely want the best for everyone. If that means that I have to acknowledge some ideas that don't sit well with me, that don't sit well with my morals, then I just have to acknowledge it and understand that I can coexist with those ideas. And if it's meant for me to change my mind down the line, then somebody will water that seed. Somebody will plant that seed, and I'll get there. You know, I have to believe in myself to that extent, because I can't afford fear. It's there. It's present. It's real. It happens to me. But I have to learn to let it show its ugly little head less often. I have to figure out how to say, okay, I'm not going to deal with fear today because it's not on my agenda. What's on my agenda is belief. Belief in the greater good. Belief in what's right. Belief in doing what's best. And hopefully what's best is what's best for everyone. And until I figure out what's best for everyone, I will do what's best for me. I have to keep doing that. And I want to do it less often, you know. I want to lower its frequency, but I also want to lower its duration. Something that will keep me afraid for 2-3 days. I want it to keep me afraid to 1 or 2 days. I want it to keep me afraid for 1 day, half a day, just momentarily. I constantly want to be in that state where I'm teaching myself to fear less, because that's how I believe that I can stick to believing in myself as much as possible. You know, the way that I fear things is the way that I want to believe in things. And that's all I'm trying to do is swap that out over and over and over again, as often, as quickly as possible. That's what I'm trying to do. There is no like, oh, I'm afraid of this, and then I'm not. That's just, it's not how it works. And if somebody taught you that, or someone made you feel that way, I want you to know that that's not a real thing. That's not always going to be the case. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that's, in my experience, not typically how it happens. From what I hear other people say, that's not their experience either. So, you know, I don't have any facts or data behind it, but for me, it's a good thing, and I want to believe in good things. And until I find something else out, that's what I'm going to believe in. So I really, 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 really want you to believe in yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to be on my entrepreneurship journey of launching my app that helps people see lives or virtual tours, or whenever we are able to actually go on tour and perform live in person. Times are crazy. Saying live and being live is two different things. But I want to provide that for people. You know, I want to build that gateway and build upon that. I have a dream, and this is the way I feel like attaining it. And hopefully it works out. But if not, I'll figure things out when I get to them. And that's it. So, good luck figuring things out. I love you so much. Thank you for watching my video. I know that it's a little long and it's a little random, and there are probably parts that you would have rather skipped. But it's me. Authentically me. So, this is what you get. This is my best. And judge away. I really hope you don't. I hope you figure out how to judge less. But if you're going to judge, then judge away. Like, that's your right, and it's okay. And we can coexist. And I believe that you can change, and you can find something that's more fitting to who you are, and find something that's better for you, and do what's best for you, and eventually do what's best for others. And so I want you to just have a happy day. and think about your dreams and know that there's someone out there that's pursuing theirs. And I'm telling you about it and how it looks and how it goes. And I'm sure you're just like, this is not what I expected, but you know, you just take it day by day. You become more present. Like, you know that the future is coming and you plan and strategize for it the best of your abilities, you know, with the knowledge that you have, with the experience that you have, with the resources that you have, with the family, friends, coworkers that you have. You know, you figure it out with them to the best of your ability, and that's it. Like, you wake up tomorrow and you try again, and you will continue trying. It doesn't stop. You know, I listen to people who have quote unquote made it, and they constantly mention how much they work and how much they do it. The difference is their passion, right, behind it, and how that passion exudes happiness. So that's all I'm trying to do, is show you what it looks like, so that once I do make it to that part where I get to say I made it the way I pictured making it, because I made it is going to have some social quarrel to it, because I have X amount of dollars or because I live in a certain place or whatever the case may be. But for me, whatever making it is to me, I want this to sort of highlight that process so that people can understand that it's not an overnight thing. And I really wish that I could have or would have taken video back in college, just to say little things, even if I didn't post it back then, you know, just to say little things of where my headspace was, and then to sort of show who I am today, and to acknowledge that who I am today is going to be different who I am tomorrow, which is a part of why I made this video too, because the 5-year from later me and the 10-year from now later, yeah, I get what I'm trying to say. I don't know where I was going, but so that that person in the future can know the things that I was going through, and hear the things that I was going through, and hear the things that I thought, and the experiences that I had, and understand the progression that I will have, you know? So I'm not saying that I'm just going to reflect on all my videos on a regular from this year, this time frame, because I know for me this is a very short-lived thing. I'm not going to be making videos for the rest of my life. But I do want to show people the journey as much as possible. And then once I do make it, in my eyes, to then stop and be content with the content that I put out. And if there's anything that I would like to change or update, you know, have the sense of security and understanding that if I put out any more content in the future, that it's more so because I want to, not because I have to, until I get the things that I am looking forward to get to. And I get that people are like, yeah, but you don't have to do this. It's a choice. The other choices that are out there of blogs or doing pitches and stuff like that, like Shark Tank and stuff, it doesn't interest me. And it may never interest me. So this is the way that I have to. And you have to do what's best for you, however you see that fit. I just want you to start. So go start. I'm going to stop taking up so much of your time. I love you and have a happy day.